Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Sorry for those couple of minutes of delay. We were having some technical issues, but hopefully everything's fine by now. So, panic moment is over, and we can go ahead with our webinar. So, like I was saying, thank everyone for joining another Lodgify webinar. As you probably know or may not know, today is Earth Day, which in the end is as good as any other day to think about our planet, what can we do to take care of it, and how we can be more sustainable. But it just gave us the perfect excuse to organize this session. And if you've been with us for a while, you know that whenever we have a webinar, no matter the topic, whether it's regulations, taxation, whatever it is, we always try to bring the best of the best when it comes to speakers. And if you've also been in the industry for a while, when you think about sustainability in the short-term rental industry, probably the first name that comes to mind is also Sustonica. And that's why I'm thrilled to introduce to today's speaker, which is Camila Pang from Sustonica, who would give us a nice presentation on how we can be more sustainable in this industry, but also how we can make use of the new technology to ensure that it's also easy to use and we can take all the benefits from AI to become greener. So thank you, Camila, for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. I've got some slides here. How do I share them? Do I just share my screen?
Yeah, let me just do some housekeeping first, and then I'll because of the technical issues for everyone to know, we didn't have time to align before on this. It's really easy. You'll see there's like a little CTA at the bottom that says present. I'm gonna present a couple of slides, and then I can let you present your. Is that okay?
Yes, sure, yeah.
Amazing. Uh, Again, thank you everyone. We hope that it was not too big of a delay. Let me start by presenting my screen, like I was saying, the little deck that we have prepared to begin with. And there you go. So, as you know, the topic of today's webinar is Tech Power Eco Minded AI Sustainability in Vacation Rentals. And my name is Alberto Fernandez. I'm the regional marketing at Lodgify. And joining me, we have Camila Pang, like I mentioned, strategic sustainability advisor at Sustonica. So, we've been already talking for a couple of minutes, but it's important. No one has complained, so that's a good sign. But in case you cannot hear us, there's a CTA, blue CTA on your screen that should be popping up that says tap to unmute sound. If that's the case, just tap in there and you should be able to hear us with no problem. Sometimes it's even simple. Maybe some people you just have the volume down. It's as simple as turning it up or refreshing the page. That also helps sometimes. And just a reminder, a couple of reminders. We cannot hear you, but we can see the chat. In fact, we see that there's already a few people commenting. We encourage you to, use the chat as much as you can. Because at the end of the presentation, at the end of Camila's presentation, we will have a Q&A session where we will try to answer as many questions as you guys have. And there was already this question at some point, I believe. Yes, the webinar will be recorded and we will be sending it out tomorrow. So, when it comes to structure, I'm going to do like a really quick introduction about Lodgify. For those of you that are not familiar with us, I promise it will not take more than 5 minutes. And then we will move on to the big thing of this session, which is Camila's presentation. And at the end, like I mentioned, we will have our Q&A session. So we will leave some minutes for questions. That being said, as I mentioned, for those of you that don't know us, what is Lodgify? We're a PMS, we're a vacation rental management software that helps your business, helps small operators, small and medium operators, and hosts to manage, automate, and grow their short term rental business from creating your own vacation rental website with a website builder, connecting all your reservations and channels with a channel manager, managing all your properties from one centralized platforms. I'm managing also the task for your staff, the maintenance, cleaning, etc. And all of that, like I said, in one centralized platform so you can have full control of your business. And I'm really proud of also mention that we were in London a couple of weeks ago, and for those of you that may not be familiar with the Shorties, that's one of the most prestigious awards when it comes to the short-term rental industry. And we won our first award for the first time ever, actually, and it was for the best mobile app because not only you can do amazing things at Logify from your desktop, but you can also do it from your app. And yeah, I just wanted to, that's me on the right with my colleague Marisa, Director of Partnerships, picking up the award in London last couple of weeks ago. So if you haven't tried Lodgify, now is the best time to try it. You can try it always for 7 days. You can see that we're also partners with Airbnb, Booking, Expedia, Verbo, and we have a lot of reviews from people that are customers. You can go check those reviews out. But now, and this is my final slide, if you haven't tried Lodgify, now is the best time to do it because we have a spring sale promo. We call it spring. I know that we also have people in the southern hemisphere where it's not even spring. That also applies to you. It's just a name. But if you have not tried Lodgify, it's the best time because we have that 30% extra off. And if you're already a customer, we might also have some promotions for you guys. So you wait because you will receive an email from us. Otherwise, you can reach out to our payments team and let's see if we can do something for you guys as well. I promise I'll be quick. I'll try to be as quick as I can because I know the Logify is not the main topic of the conversation today. I will still leave the link to sign up in the chat in case anyone wants to give it a go. And now, without further ado, I will stop sharing my screen and I will let you, Camila, to share your presentation.
Okay, and I just say present,
Yes.
and
And you can
my
present your screen, and then just like any Google Meet, you just pick the tab that you want to present and go ahead.
can you see my slides now?
Uh, Not
No,
yet.
not yet. Right. Um, I have them right here. Shall I send them to you just in case?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Let's do that.
yeah, Delphine, it's okay if you can do that. I haven't got their email, but the I swear, yeah, I can't shit for some reason. It's not
We're
working.
getting a lot of technical issues today.
Thank
Not sure
you.
what's going on.
Yeah, so Delphine's just messaging you. But yeah, what a day to be talking about this. I'm so excited because this is a thing, like you say, it's this Earth Day, but every day should be Earth Day. Because it's a reminder of how we can be more aware to build better habits. So yeah, I'm really excited to speak to you on this today. Um, hopefully you should get the slides
Yeah.
in a minute.
Can you try again? Because there was like a little bug, but maybe it's fixed now. If you click on screen, let's see if it works now. Otherwise, I think I can share. So if you send them to me, I can also share them.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I think that's what Delphine's going to do. But yeah, sorry for the delay.
No worries.
Um, technical issues.
Let's
Have you got
see. Let me check.
be worth that, I
Let me
promise.
Did we did Delphine send them on via email?
I
Let's
think so.
see.
Yes.
Haven't got them yet, but let's try in just a second. In the meantime, if you guys want to tell us where I got the presentation, where are you guys based at the moment, so we can get to know each other a bit as well while we wait and I pull my well, not my presentation, Camila's presentation on screen. That would be amazing, so we can get to know each other.
There it
All
is.
right,
Yay.
and there
Thanks
we
so much.
go.
Save the day.
Thank you,
Um,
guys.
thank you. And how do I press forward? Or
I just let me know and I'll move
okay,
forward.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, brilliant. Thanks so much for having me here today, and congratulations on your award. That's fantastic news,
thank you.
and a lot of yeah, and thanks for the invitation. So today we're going to talk about tech-powered, eco-minded, and how we can incorporate AI as an assistant to help us be more sustainable in the vacation rentals. I'll do this when the slide comes up.
Okay.
Here we go. So just to kind of a little bit about me, just some context. I'm the strategic sustainability consultant at Sustonica. I have a PhD in biochemistry, and I've spent the last 8 or so years in bio AI pharma. I'm also an award-winning author, which is kind of cool, and also a neurodiversity advocate. I have autism and ADHD, and so I know the blessings and curses of human habit. And I'm also a climate pivoter. I pivoted out of a coding career into how I can be more proactive in climate action. And there we go. So, what are we doing today? I'd like to talk about where we are today, the state of the world, the barriers we face in this industry, and how together we can set a new standard of living and be able to contribute more. Because we've got quite a big responsibility. We have to couple luxury with infrastructure and culture, and it can be quite difficult. And I'd like to talk about the role of AI and how this can help support vacation rental hosts on their sustainability journey with certifications that we can trust, that are measurable and real. So, first of all, what is Sustonica? So, it's a sustainability standard for short term rentals. It uses auditors, independent auditors, to validate sustainable practices. For example, in energy and water, there's lots of different criteria that we use to make sure it's a more encapsulative of different processes. And the goal with this is to make sustainability accessible and, let's face it, less overwhelming for people in order for them to adopt more humane habits. And the partnership with AI is something that we've done quite recently to support small property owners in this process. So, the current state of the world. So, pre pandemic, tourism accounted for around about 10% of global GDP and supporting like a loads of jobs, millions of jobs worldwide. And oh, next slide.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no worries. And with this, and that's great because we all like to travel and it's good for the employment market, but it also comes with a heavy footprint. It accounted for around about, between 8 and 11 greenhouse gas emissions. Accommodation alone was 21% of this. And and this is quite an important point actually, is that a lot of our aspirations and sustainability, we think, oh yeah, in 2050 we'll like have loads of green amazing buildings, and we think about rebuilding and knocking old ones down. But actually, a lot of these buildings today are still going to exist in 2050, which is one of the reasons why we need to work with the regulations and redesign with them in conjunction with human habit, which is basically the crux of this industry. And this is a very powerful sector with a heavy footprint. No, that's fine, yeah. And 70% and over 70% of travelers actually want to be more sustainable. We want to give them choices that they can feel like they can have a holiday without the cost of the planet. They want to be able to feel good on holiday and not feel guilty. And there's a really big gap that everyone's very much aware of between knowledge, interest, and action, and getting people on board. And as I said earlier, balancing this feeling of culture and luxury lifestyles that you'd want on holiday with convenience of human habit is a very big challenge, and especially in the landscape of different regulations and how to accommodate this in different infrastructures. It can feel quite overwhelming for small hosts. It can feel like a luxury for some because it's got, some bits can be quite expensive, especially when you've already invested in something. And so sustainability can feel like a bit of a luxury, and it can be a bit of a burden, especially when you care so much and you really want to do good and you really want to do the right thing. But doing that, you're often accompanied with such a confusing mess of rules and what to do's and how to do the right thing. And this is one of the reasons why standards are very important in teaching us and guiding us how to live better, and how this can lead the way to more sustainable habit integration piece by piece. So where do we want to get to? What world do we want to see when it comes to sustainability? We want it to be easy to understand. We want it to be accessible and backed by frameworks and sustainability accreditations, such as Sustonica, for example. And most importantly, we want it to be accessible to everyone and not just experts. And this becomes very important later on, especially as we talk about how we can use AI as a support tool in this. And then it's not a threat, but actually a way that we can use technology to help us with this process. And it's not a gimmick or a gatekeeper, it can actually be an enabler. So, what's stopping us? If we know what we need to do, if we know what the right thing is, and we kind of know how to do it, then what's stopping us? And a lot of the time, when you're trying to be more sustainable, you're like, okay, where do I start? What do I do? You can often be accompanied by jargon, heavy requirements, lots of forms, lots of things that don't make sense, lots of labels, and trying to balance this with limited time and resources, as well as you doing what you enjoy, it can be very difficult. And a lot of people don't find it very difficult to justify because it's not made easy. And even those that really want to do good, they have a fear of greenwashing. How do I know that if I'm going to invest time in this new technology or this new machine or this new dishwasher, it's actually going to do good? And so it's actually quite unclear where to start and to invest in which actions to take that will make the best difference in your footprint. And that's why a lot of people, especially people who really want to do good, do nothing. You have eco anxiety, you have paralysis, and this is really sad because sustainability is something that should be in conjunction with the planet and made easy for humans. Oh yeah. Um, okay, so this is actually an example of some hosts the Sustonica spoke to, and the things that they found quite difficult as roadblockers. So a lot of people didn't really know what counted as sustainability, such as saving water, saving resources, how to be able to decrease the footprint of the products that you buy within your dwelling. A lot of people don't have time. A lot of people are worried that they'll get it wrong and their well intentions will look fake. A lot of people will try and upload everything and try and get all the credentials in place, but they're not too sure whether it will help or not. And most are just overwhelmed, which is this is just something that happens when you're overwhelmed. So, along with the doom and gloom, we've got solutions. And this is quite this is a really good development, actually, very recently with the EU in greenwashing. So a lot of the time, companies make these vague claims, which are very much like, we use recycled plastic, but that's quite vague, and that doesn't really tell how much recycled plastic. It could be like 10%. And so, in order to kind of decrease these vague claims, and to substantiate these, the governments have created this EU Green Claims Directive, which helps us guide what does count. It gives us some truth and some certification, how we can trust what we do is in accordance with legal standards, and that's really good for checking in with things. And in conjunction with this, this is something that I think is going to be a game changer, because a lot of this is what I talked about can be a bit complicated and associated with jargon. You're like, okay, that's a great directive, but what do I do? How does this translate to what I do today? And this is where AI and certification come hand in hand. Because AI is really, really good at breaking down tasks, giving you context-based evidence, and helping you verify the claims that you want to make. It can act as a digital mentor in this space. For example, think of it as a more smart, GDP or Copilot, whatever have you, because it can explain this complex language that we're often faced with when we're trying to be more sustainable. And it can also suggest specific actions that are for your location or property type, or washing machine or dishwasher. And it can also check the labels that you're trying to validate are actually true and what they actually mean. It can offer you real-time guidance on how you can be more sustainable, and it can also automate tasks that are a bit faffy. So that whole kind of process of like, oh, what do I need to do? How do I do it? What label do I look for? Because no one is an expert on the latest eco-friendly microwave, unless you have made that microwave, which is brilliant. Or in this case, yeah, we want to be able to know that what we're doing is useful. So on the back of this, I'd just like to touch on the subject of using AI mindfully. Yeah, that's fine. And the hidden footprint of this. AI is very powerful, but it takes up a lot of energy and a lot of water, to say the least. As for example, training its models, even if it's for specific data that we've used to solve, what's it called, the credential process. And it comes with a lot of heavy carbon emissions and water costs. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, and that doesn't mean don't use it. It basically means use it mindfully, because it does have a hidden footprint. But also with this, it helps us be better at doing better and saving energy, saving resources, trying to match up what we're doing with the EU Claims Directive. And we want to use it where it truly helps. For example, cutting out waste, certification steps, for example. And for example, if you have a question, is this tool helping me with my footprint or is it just adding to it? So I think it's knowing what that balance is. And that could take a bit of time. But knowing that it has a footprint will help us prioritize when it's best to use it, when we really need it. And it's quite cool because at the moment we are aware of this footprint. And so we've got very cutting edge technology such as green PT, which is is based on renewable energies and they use it twice. So this is happening. People are aware of the footprint of AI and there are active things happening in the world to alleviate it. How do I Yeah, I saw this meme, I think about a couple of years ago, and I thought, oh, I love this because it just highlights how we can use AI for an assistive benefit. So I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so I can do my art and writing, and not for AI to do my art and writing so I have time to do my laundry and dishes. And this is a really good summary of how best we can use AI to do the things that are a bit faffy, that are a bit boring, that are a bit cumbersome, so that we can do what we do best and what we enjoy. So this is a really good example of how we can use AI in this sector to help us with sustainability accreditation because it's faffy, but we have solutions to help us with that. So yeah, just to reiterate what I've just talked to you about, we want to make sustainability accessible, not just to experts, but for people that want to do good in their field. And I want to highlight that AI isn't just something that we can make, photo filters of, but something that can make us better at what we do and break down the tasks and to do the laundry of something that can be quite cumbersome. And Sonica's actually doing something. So we're currently in the process of building models that help us analyze uploaded evidence. They can help us flag missing or irrelevant items. It gives us feedbacks before we submit it to audit, so we have to wait ages to figure out we've done something wrong. It kind of just makes people not second guess themselves and make this process smoother. And also, yeah, it's making it more accessible. So before I finish, I'd like to just talk to you about some tips that you can do today. So my tip today was bring a cotton tote bag with me instead of buying a plastic bag. And it's very small things. You think, oh, okay, it's every day, but those little things count. And so when we're in our own lives, how are we incorporating this? So for example, you can switch to renewable energy. And a lot of places, I think in Spain, you can switch to renewable energy. You just call your supplier, and apparently it's free, which is lovely. You can also use sustainable toiletries. So, for example, toiletries that don't have microbeads in, which are really bad for the planet. And I think you can now find, using this Beat the Microbead website, toiletries that are sustainable and are more biodegradable for the planet. And also, the same goes for cleaning products. These are small, tiny changes that you think won't make a difference, but if you scale them up, they do. Um, and these are just some QR codes that take you to some tips that we have on Sustonica on how to incorporate more sustainable practices in for property owners and for property managers, and how to get started on this process. And also Enviro Rental, a marketplace that is really very useful for guiding what is a sustainable product, what can I substitute this shower gel, how can I make this better. So that's quite a good place to go as well. And we often talk about how we can substitute the things to be a bit better for the planet. So the main takeaways form this, and what hosts should remember, because I know it can be quite a lot of information when the subject feels overwhelming, but you don't have to be perfect. It's just start with one thing, even if it's one thing every week. It could, and it's these small differences do make a difference when lots of people do them. And the AI isn't a replacement, but a helper. And sustainability isn't just created by credentials, but daily choices, which we all try and encourage people within the dwellings that we have. And tools are being built for this purpose to make this a lot easier for people like you and for us as humans, because we care and we want to do good, but you also want to make sure that you do the right thing, which is why AI can be very useful in that. Um, That's cool. Cute. But yeah, that's my slides for today. And feel free to stay in touch. Here's our email. Here's a QR code so that you can connect with us. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you. And thanks so much for the invitation.
It was really nice. Thank you, Camila, for the presentation. So we have yeah, super insightful. I think, like you said, no, at the beginning, it's today is Earth Day, but this is something that we should think about it every day with little gestures to make sure that everyone little by little we can help make this a better world. So we have a few minutes left. There were some questions in the chat, but I see that Delphine has also been answering them, but maybe if you want to take them as well. The first one was about to get the Sustonica certification, do you need a minimum of points? Delphine already mentioned that is a 20% requirement, but I don't know if you want to add anything extra, some more context on that.
If you want to let Delphine in for these questions.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
still
otherwise,
my first week, and I'm gonna make. I'm
okay.
still. I'd like to
No
join.
worries. Well, she already replied already on the
Oh,
chat,
good.
so everything is there. There was another question though that I think in this case you kind of touched on it already done in your presentation. No, that is what do we understand by sustainability? No, because it's a very broad concept, and I think maybe if we can, yeah, we can define even if you already did, no, but what do we understand by sustainability?
Yeah, so it's a big concept, and broadly speaking, it's the ability to maintain or support a process continually over time. For example, the environmental resources. In you don't want to use too much carbon emissions because it's such a big concept, and it's a way of using resources that can continue forever, like renewable energy, and the footprints of this will make sure they don't cause harm. It's such a big, it's a social goal for people to coexist with the Earth within planetary boundaries. I'm trying to I'm trying to answer such a big question.
It is big.
Um, so what is sustainability? Um, but yeah, to able to live within the planet and not pollute. Like a lot of waste that we have can't be recycled. So what we're going to do, and sustainability, for example, in the case of circularity, is a very good example of how to devalue um, growth from resource, because we will run out of resources. And renewable energy, that's within sustainable practice, because that can be used to, that's always there, and it won't destroy the planet. And but also, it's how we dispose of things as well. It isn't just about energy; it's about water. It's about the supply chain and how we can manage these things and manufacturing to not produce harmful toxic chemicals in the lakes that lead to um, animal harm and environmental harm. So it's a web of things that we have been exceeding, and to get over these thresholds of planetary boundaries, we will we need to get better at working with the planet.
I
That's
think
my
no, it's a good answer, and I also want to highlight because I think it's kind of related to that as well. No, Julia's comment that well, she praises your presentation, and she also mentioned that one of the things she finds the most difficult thing is to actually guide property owners to sustainability. Could also be part of this lack of education. So maybe what would be your take on what is the best approach? For example, if you're a property manager and you're managing properties for certain owners, to tell them like, look, guys, this is what we need to do. This is the importance of it.
Oh yeah, I see. So how to make it relatable to what you need to do. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's a really good point. Because when you read about sustainability online, it's kind of this big picture ideology of what we want to get to, but we don't really know how to get there. So it's looking at your footprint of your materials and of all your choices. For example, how are you saving water? How are you saving energy? Do you have, I don't know, for example, water harvesting systems? Do you have what's it called, non-concussive taps? It's quite difficult to look at how infrastructure can be redesigned to work with the planet, and also what that means for human habit. We're not going to start saying to our guests, you need to take 2-minute showers so that we are more sustainable. Interested in that on their holiday. And so this is where Sustonica can help, because we look at the different criteria for which, for example, energy and water, and loads of other ones as well that we can, for example, in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, that help us guide hosts with small tangible actions in these criteria. So have a look on the, I think I've sent you the QR code, but we talk about how we make this certification in alignment with the SDGs, and it helps people know what to do and what measures to take in different parts of their dwelling in order to be sustainable. So we try and do that for people. So yeah, to give them that kind of tangible advice.
Thank you. Yeah, and also like Delphin mentioned, no, like you guys also offer a lot of free resources on your website to,
Yeah,
share with owners. Even as a
we do.
Lodgify, we also have a few resources, and we try to do regular webinars from time to time about this interesting topic, like today. So I would say just stay in touch with both of us for more information. There's a last couple of questions that actually Delphine already answered in the chat, but just for everyone to see the answer as well, is that does Sustonica integrate with any booking platforms? That's the first one. And the second one is what are the advantages offered to, well, what advantages offer the certification on the platform and Google Travel? And in that case, Delphine, for example, mentioned that Sustonica integrates with a lot of booking platforms, being the biggest one, Booking.com. And Sustonica is one of the 7 certifications that actually they accept in their platform. So you will be part of a sustainability certified filter, which is obviously very important for those more conscious hosts that want to, make
Mm.
a conscious decision when booking a platform. I'm just replying like the answer, like I'm in part of Sustonica, but like I think Delphin made it like super clear in the answer. So I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, please feel free to correct me. But yeah, those are the comments that Delphin left on the chat. And I think that was the last of the questions. So I don't know if we have any other questions. Otherwise, we can wrap it up before. I think it was super insightful. Thank you, Camila. Thank you for emphasizing the importance of, staying sustainable and yeah, showing our care for the planet. So thanks again for having you. Thank you everyone
Yeah.
as well for your comments in the chat. I don't know if you want to say any last words before we close it off.
Yeah, that's fine. Just thank you for the invite. And yeah, if you've got any questions, just reach out and I'd be happy to help.
Likewise. Well, thank you everyone. It was a pleasure to have you here and see you on the next webinar.